Hi there, in this video I will show you how you go from a Valuecase beginner to a pro with all the automations, the AI, and so on. Valuecase, if you don't know it, is the best way to collaborate with your B2B customer from first call to customer success. This includes digital sales rooms, customer onboarding workspaces, and in the end it replaces all the email chains, the spreadsheets, the SharePoints, the forms that you share with your customer with one single branded workspace that is very flexible, personalized, that is white labeled to you, and that is really easy to use. Now, because this video might get quite long, I will keep myself short and dive right in, and I will also talk quite quickly. Now let's talk about some definitions first. What is a space and what is a template? A space is basically the thing that you share with your customer. It's a workspace, it is a single link that you can send to your customer like Microsoft and that you can collaborate on, collect documents and so on. And a template is basically a blueprint for your workspaces. We don't want you to start from scratch every time. Every time you create a new space, you have to select a template. These templates are shared within your team. We give you a ton of examples to get started. And this is where your spaces start from. And then you can customize it a bit, personalize it a bit to the customer, but hopefully 80 to 100% of the work is already done and the template is well set up. And this is also where we will start. So let's head to Valuecase and go to templates. I already have a template in my account here, and usually you always start with the template that we give you by default. However, you can create a new one by just clicking here. You can either start from blank or use one of our best practices that we offer. But I just want to go to the one that I already have in the account. And this is how my template looks. It has my design, it has my colors, and you can change those in the company settings via your dashboard. And then it has a couple of pages on the top, and then on the pages it has these white blocks here. And this is also how we call it, blocks basically. And you can tailor the text by just clicking into it. If you highlight text or double click, you will find a couple more options like text colors and placeholders and also an AI writing assistant. And then through the sidebar, you have the advanced features. So you can click to the pages and you can rename them. You can add new pages here. And then you can go to the blocks on the page. And if you hover here, you will see them highlighted on the right as well. And you can click into any block to find the blocks options. What is important is that every block is a bit different. If I press new block here, you will find the categories. And there are three. The first type of blocks are mainly for you to share content with your customers. So the title block, the text block, the media block, or the files, the accordion, and so on are just there for you to put in text and content and share with your customer, but your customer cannot edit these. The action plan block and the progress, the Gantt chart, and so on are meant to be collaborative. You can, of course, control the permissions, but by default, they're meant to be collaborative and your customer can edit those. And for example, I have a next task block here, and then this is linked to an action plan, which you will find on this page. And this is a collaborative action plan I can work with, but also my customer in the end. And then finally, there's the forms. And if you add a form, it will look something like this. It has inputs and it's great for data collection from your customers. It's one of the most used blocks in Valuecase as well. Now, this is a template and this is how you edit it. If you don't want to learn all of this, just press on the AI chat here and you can see an example conversation. I just asked it to add a cards contact block to the welcome page. And what it did was adding this block down here with your contacts. And this is then very easy to use. If you just want to do some changes, translate the full thing, let it create a template for you, the AI can do all of it. And if you have something to upload to it, for example, a playbook, a sales deck, you can do that as well and will create even better results for you. So you don't have to learn all the different patterns of the platform. Now, next, we created this template. I want to create a space for a customer with you. So let's head back to the dashboard and go here and just put in Microsoft as an example customer. And we will find the logo for you so you don't have to dig it out yourself. And then you press next, you select your template. And this template will ask me a question here, which use case it is. But this is something we will talk about later. It is our content visibility automation that tailors the space for me. Okay, I have the space here and you can see that it already looks a bit different to the template. It has the Microsoft logo, has Microsoft as a customer name filled out. And if I press on preview, you will see that it transforms to normal text. Can press escape and then go back. The preview is great for screen sharing. If you want to work with your customer on Valuecase in a meeting, which we really recommend, then you can just click on preview, share the plan and so on to go through it together. And this is how a workspace works. And now you can just tailor it to your customer. You can change the text, of course, but most importantly in the sidebar, you can add new things, but you can also just use the toggles to show and hide certain things. So I could go and say, I don't need the resources page here. Or on the resources page, I could click into it and say, I don't need the FAQs. And this way, I tailor the space to the specific customer just by hiding and showing certain elements. Also, I could maybe only start with one page and then after the next meeting, show the next pages. And this is great because you can just create your mothership template, so to say, and then for every customer, quickly tailor it and then send it out. And we really recommend to, over time, just improve the template, make it 80 to 100% perfect so you don't have to customize much to every customer. This makes it so much easier to use Valuecase. As soon as you're happy, you just click on share the space, and then you can copy the link and send it out. There are a few more access options here, especially this one is nice. You can just ask your customer to always put in their email address when they enter, so you can also see who enters. But in this case, I just want to share the space as is. And after we've done this, we can head to the activity feed and see what the customer did. As soon as your customer enters the space, you will see that there's a number in the activity feed. And if you click on it, you will see almost every click that your customer is doing. We can track if they click a video, which pages of a PDF they read, and you will get a detailed look into engagement. This is amazing if you use Valuecase maybe after a sales call and you want to know if your prospect is actually interested, or if you want to see new stakeholders coming in, it's also very useful for that. And in onboarding, maybe you want to know your customers ghosting you, but maybe they make some progress on their own, right? And this is what you can really see in this activity feed. You will always know how the engagement looks like. We also show this in your dashboard. We have a deep dive here if you want to see a bit more details. So it should really give you a much better view into customer engagement than you ever had before. And these are the basics of the workspace. So this is how you share it, how you tailor it, how you use the toggles. And now I want to go into two power features. And these are the forms and the plans. So in this space, I already have a form here. And I want to just quickly show you how this works. So let's head to the preview. This is the customer view, and the customer can fill this out. And the great thing about this is, other than, for example, a type form or a Google form or so, while they fill it out, it auto-saves. And you will see what they're doing. So you can help them, you can fill it out together. They can do it over 2 weeks if they want to. And you will always know where they stand, and you can always react based on it. And they can also go through this, and it supports automation. So when I put in async updates as my preferred working style, it will ask me for the channel here. So these forms are very powerful, and they enable you to do the most complex data collection tasks from Valuecase. The second power feature are our shared action plans. And these might look simple, and we designed them to look like this. However, they enable you to do full-on project management. And here are my milestones: kickoff, information sharing, review together, and so on. And then below that are my tasks. And you can see that they are already partly filled out. So align on objectives has already an assignee, also share key contacts. And I templatize these assignees and also the due dates in my template already. So I said this is always due like 5 days after the space creation or so. And this is always for my contact. This is always for me. So I basically set it up right away so I don't have to do it in the workspace. But then if you want to edit this, you can just click on any task and you will see the details here. And we give you a lot of power features. So for example, you can set the due dates, but also start and end dates if you want to. And then you can add quick actions, which would be, for example, to book a meeting. And here you can put in your Calendly link. By the way, if you do this and you have this filled out in your profile, which we will come to in a second, this will be automatically filled if you have it in the template. So it gives you a very nice way to actually push a project forward. And then you also have this tiny button that gives you these quick actions for you here. So when you're in a meeting, screen sharing this with the customer, like I'm doing now, it is very quick to change, very quick to edit, and much better than that tracking spreadsheet you used before. These are the plans and the forms. There are a bunch more features to that I will come to in a second. But first, I want to head back to the dashboard and actually show you how you track all of this in the dashboard. I'm back in the dashboard, and I want to now show you how you tailor the dashboard to your use case and the way you like to work. So I have my spaces list here, and the first thing that is important are the filters and the columns. The filters allow you to just filter down to something specific. So you might want to see only your spaces, which is the default filter, or your whole team spaces. You might want to see just specific templates or so, and then you can just set up these filters here. Another thing that you can do is you can change the columns that are visible. We give you a ton of default columns. However, we don't show everything right away. The reason for that is just everyone that uses Valuecase uses it in a slightly different way, and every process is a bit different. So we want to give you all the options, but we don't want to overwhelm you. However, for example, if the current milestone is important for you, you can just show that. If the form completions are important to you, you can just bring them and then reshuffle it as well. And afterwards, just save your view, and this will save it for the next time when you come back. Also, you can create more views on the top here. So if you want to create a view just for your overdue spaces, you can do that and then set up your filter and column combination. Or if you want to just have one view for you, just one for your team, you can do the same thing. We also have a Kanban view, and you will see setup instructions if you've never used it before. Then one thing that's easy to miss but really important is the side panel. If you have one space, it doesn't really matter, but if you have 10 or 100 spaces, you want to see them in the side panel, because this is a summary of where the space stands with all the comments, the activities, the form submissions, so you don't always have to jump to each space. And this way you can very quickly review where things are. You can also complete tasks from here. You can change assignees, change due dates, and so on. And this allows you to work much faster with the platform. You will also find it in different places. So if I go to my task dashboard, which shows me what's upcoming, what's overdue, and so on, I can also access the side panel from here. Same in the activity feed, where you see consolidated all the activities that are happening across your workspaces. You will find the side panel there as well. Then we have the assets, which I will skip, and the analytics, but you will find a ton about that in the Help Center. As a general note, typically we offer you Help Center material right away when you click Learn More, and you can just check what is this feature. Then we have the support area, where you will find our Academy, the Help Center, the new releases, as well as the chat. And here you will connect to a real human. So if I go back and just press to the chat, you can just write us a message. If you have any feedback, any questions, we would love to hear from you, and you will connect with us on the other side. Then finally, if you press your name on the top right, you can edit your details, and then you can also set up our integrations. We offer a lot of integrations for your CRM system, for Slack. If you want to see the activity feed in Slack or in Teams, you can set that up here. We also have a Chrome extension that you can install to just access your spaces and that side panel I showed before, anywhere you are. And then we also have the access to the Valuecase MCP. So if you want to connect us to Claude or ChatGPT, you can do that from here. And I would really recommend doing so, because you can set up AI agentic workflows using the Valuecase MCP. It has write and read access, so it can do a ton for you right from your LLM. Then you can also customize the notifications that you receive. And then if you're an admin, you will find the design and branding settings right here, which is something that is really easy to miss as well. Now, this is the dashboard and just a quick tour of it. And now I want to go back to the space and show you a couple more advanced features that I skipped in my first walkthrough. Okay, back in the workspace, and now onto some of the coolest and more advanced features of Valuecase, which are our automations. Automations come in different shapes and forms in Valuecase, and there are three main types I want to show you today. First of all, we have the content visibility automation. The content visibility automation allows you to show and hide certain content. So basically using these toggles that I showed you before based on a variable. So let's say you have customers in different industries, and based on the industry, you want to show specific content or hide specific content. That could be a case study, that could be a testimonial, could be a certain page or certain milestone on the onboarding plan. And this is what content visibility automation is meant to do. So if I go to the resources page in the space, you will see that I have my useful links here. And this is just an example slide deck. However, when you click on the block, on the left side, you will see that there's another PDF document that is currently hidden. When I created this workspace, you might remember this from the beginning in the video, I am asked which use case the customer has. And there's two options, A or B. And for this customer, I selected A. And because I selected A, this PDF document is shown. Now, this might seem a bit abstract, and it just saved me one click of a toggle here. However, this becomes really, really cool if you have many different places where you want to customize based on this option. So you could have the milestone showing, you could have specific blocks showing, only if the use case is A or B. And the same I have here for your contacts, where I automated the contacts based on the space owner. So I don't have to go in manually and select the right person. And this could scale to many, many different stakeholders, of course. And this is a great way to make it much easier to tailor and personalize the Valuecase spaces to your customer. And like all automations, also the next ones I will show you, you generally set this up in the template. Especially for the visibility automation, it really doesn't make sense to set this up after the space has been created. And where you do that is in the template, you want to go, for example, for this resources page, and then you can press set page automation in the three-dot menu and find your variable, for example, the use case variable that I have in here, and then contains one of, and I could select both use cases and save this automation. And this is how you set up the content visibility automation. Now, this is the simplest form of automations. Let's now move to our workflows. Workflows are great because they allow you to do something dynamic after the space already has been created. And for this workspace, I will just show you an example. I have a form here, and I just need to finally fill it out. So just press and let me switch to the preview so it's a bit larger, submit my response and complete it. What you will see now is that I get a pop-up that says, thanks for submitting your data, and I can dismiss this. And this pop-up is fully custom and it was triggered by a workflow. So we have a workflow firing when this form is completed. When I press escape, you will find that here in the automations tab of the form block. The form block as well as the action plan block, these two blocks have this automation tab, and it allows you to access these advanced features. And I have this active workflow here. I can click on it to see it. However, in the workspace, again, just like with the content visibility automation, you don't configure your workflows there, you configure them in the template. So I can go to the form in the template, just click on it, go to the automation sidebar, and this is where I get the full settings, where I can configure the if this then that automation and also can add new actions and so on. And I just recommend playing around with these workflows, checking out the triggers, the actions is extremely useful. I have also a couple of workflows in the action plans. Let me switch back to the space here and go to shared plan. I would just quickly complete this. So let's say everything is done. Yes, I've done this milestone as well. Complete the milestone like this too, and like that. And now after this is done, I will also get a pop-up. So congratulations. However, something else happened. If I press dismiss, you will see that I have a new page unlocked here. And this is a multi-step workflow, so it has multiple actions, which is very cool. So you can have 10, 15 different actions, and this is a single workflow. And this now unlocked a thank you page for my customer. And this is extremely nice if you want to create some stages within your spaces without you having to go in and then unlock or hide certain content yourself. And our customers are creating quite fancy setups with this. So always get in touch if you want to discuss your use cases for these features. Now, these are the first two ways of automating. The third one that I want to briefly show you are our email notifications. If you are in customer onboarding, post-sales, or customer success, you know the pain that you have to get information from your customer. You have to chase them to do their tasks. And for that, we build our email notifications. If I press on automations again here, you will see that for this plan, there are no notifications active, but I can set them up right here. And you can already set them up again on the template if you want to just define a standard. And here you can find all our standard email notifications. So I could, for example, say, I want to notify for task due dates, and I can then configure multiple reminders if I want to for my customers. And this is then firing and sending to the task assignees, which is amazing. So I can even have complex projects with many stakeholders and I won't overwhelm them. Only the assignees and the task watchers will receive these notifications. And then you will also see down here that we have the same for forms. So also for forms, you can set up do notifications if you need to collect any intake information and your customers struggle to give it to you on time. Now, these are the automations within Valuecase, and there are more if you move outside the platform. So what we really recommend is playing with the MCP or playing with Zapier, Make, or our HubSpot integration, Salesforce integration, where you can also set up custom automations to automatically create workspaces, automatically complete tasks, and much, much more. But this really goes a bit too far for this video when we go into other systems and into API work and so on. Now, I hope you enjoyed this and this gave you a good overview of how to go from beginner to pro and what you really can do with the platform and where you can bring it over time. I hope you create thousands and thousands of spaces for your customers, and let us know if you have any feedback or questions. We are really looking forward to hearing from you. See you soon. Bye-bye.